Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fandom Fridays, where we check out all the favorites that are not Power related. Why? Because next we're moving on to Power Rangers Waiting for us and see which is probably the better adaptation. So, let's start. Power Rangers Wake Force by Andrewzani84. Not a bad name. Chapter 1. On a Wing. Part 1. Mark Goodman was a normal man. He was an early college graduate who made his way into the U.S. Air Force and been decorated with honors. He enjoyed a normal life living in a suburban house in Warren Valley with his teenage sister Lulu and a stable relationship with his girlfriend Mary, even as he was up on the space station Garuda. But what Mark Goodman didn't realize was this normalcy would not last. It all started on a Saturday morning, with Mark sitting at the breakfast table with Lulu. He finished up his cereal and was now putting on the jacket of his Air Force uniform. Alright, I better get to work, or else I might dock my pay. You could see the look on Lulu's face. She was about to ask the same question she always asked whenever he went out to work. The answer was always the same. He didn't even wait for her lips to move. No, Lulu, you can't come with me to the nest. Lulu suspiciously assumed a pouty face. Oh, come on, bro. I've always wanted to see what it's like at the U.S. Air Base. If I will ever become a pilot with some mandatory education, like you did. There's a possibility of that happening. You're still another authorized civilian at this point. Mark told her, if I took you in without prior notice, they could have had me either reassigned or decommissioned. At that point made, Mark turned away and carried on. Not so as Lulu made a face that indicated she had an idea. A few minutes later, Mark set off in his car after correcting a slightly out-of-place trunk. En route to the nest, his car was grazed by a bullet. He was caused to stop to get out and check. He saw the shooter was a plump black man and a skinny blonde accomplice. Don't move, man, the black one said. We're armed, we just want your money. Now he could see them clearly. Mark recognized them. I know you two. Matthew Lewis and Edgar Holwell. Known to your friends as Matt and Eddie. You got kicked out of the project I'm assigned to when it turned out you were trying to sabotage it. Do you really think robbing me will compensate you for that? Nah, man. We're just trying to make people like you compensate us for the rough lifestyle we're trying to live. Eddie replied. We're fit to today's society, taking our homes and parents from us. But the two of us are going to tear it all down. Mark cracked his knuckles. Well, if that's how you want to play it, let's dance. He then proceeded to beat the ever-living tar out of his would-be muggers, promptly fled after the first 6 or 9 injuries. Nice work, big bro. You show those punks who's boss. Mark turned around to the source of the voice. It was Lulu. He was sitting up front for the car's trunk. She probably stopped clapping once he had noticed. Sorry, Mark. It's just that the opportunity to see a real military establishment is just something too big for me to suppress my urges. Mark was about to argue back when the radio communicator on his wrist began to beep. He pressed the answer button to be met with the voice of a superior officer. One Wing Commander June Roberts. Goodman, I need you to be here within the next 20 minutes. Major James is about to set the break Garuda within range at that time. And else he'll want to talk with you. If certain feelings mutual. Mark growled at this. He had no time to take Lulu back and make it time to talk to Mary. Welcome, Commander. I'm giving you an advance notice. I'm bringing my sister with me. She's interested in joining our work at some point after her graduation. After a few seconds of thinking, Roberts responded, Normally, civilians are allowed in military bases. However, since your sister is eager as you say she is, I'll make an exception. But just this once. Mark looked up at Lulu. Why don't I let you have a look at a real military base for a day trip? He said. As expected, her face was filled with glee. Deep in hyperspace, an unknown object was making its way to Earth. First, it had another target. Space Station Garuda. Back to Earth, Mark and Lulu pulled up to the nest. It was a large pyramid-like structure with a launch bay halfway up to one of the faces. Mark could see the sheer joy on Lulu's face. And after seeing this place, she definitely wasn't going to be bugging you to bring her here after today. If you think this is cool, just wait until you see the inside, little sis. Sure enough, the inside structure put the outside the same. After parking the car, Mark immediately took Lulu to the hangar bay. This is where we're preparing a new set of experimental vehicles for deployment. We use state-of-the-art tracking and navigation technology to eliminate potential threats to the safe future of Earth. One of these vehicles is already assembled up under Garuda, with 4 more being developed by our space division under Mary James. Lulu remembers something Mark discussed with Janet.
Mary James, isn't that your...
But before she could continue, a young man in a white coat entered the room. We're stopping when he saw Lulu. What the heck, Goodman? The young man yelled. You know we're not allowed to bring civilians into the nest. It's okay, Wayne, Mark replied. I got permission from the commander to bring her in. Besides, she's determined to get inside this place through hard work, so who am I to deny her? The man named Wayne seemed mildly annoyed. Goodman, I'll take you to remember my title is Dr. Burley. I am one of the scientists and officers on the space after all.
So Lulu spoke again. Well, you're the science officer? That's so cool. I'd love to see what you're working on.
Hearing this, Wayne immediately changed his tack and decided to start humoring his rival sister. Really? Well, in that case, Goodman, how about you go see the commander? I'll handle the rest of this young lady's tour. Mark didn't quite understand what Wayne was trying to do, but decided to go with it. It will save us some time. Okay, you've got a deal. Lou, I'll see you when you're done with seeing the base. That, he left his sister in the hands of a bigger code worker, heading into the communication room. High above Earth, Mary James was taking a look at the planet below. She may have had the same view for the last 6 months, but still left Mary breathtaking with the view. When Commander Gordon assigned her to the research station, she hadn't expected to be for very long. Looking down at Earth, even after it had become commonplace for her, was anticipating the day she went home. Did she see her mother, or boyfriend, and pet cat again? This train of thought was broken by a lieutenant coming into the room. Major, we're about to be within communication range. Commander Gordon, Private Goodman, will be here on the line.
Thank you, Mary responded. I'll take the call.
And with that, the two left the room, failing to notice the unidentified craft emerging from nowhere.
Hello, this is Space Station Garuda. This is Nest. Can you hear us?
It only took a few tries for Mary to reply.
Hello, Nest. I'm ringing you loud and clear. And were they telling the truth when they said Goodman was on your end?
No, they were not, Major James. Mark said, taking over. What's the view like from up there?
It's breathtaking as always, Goodman, came the reply. Why did you come up here to see for yourself?
This was said in a more pleasant tone. I'm afraid the pigeons might miss me, he joked back. Before the conversation could continue, the space station was attacked by an alien ship, sending Mary tumbling. Gordon was about to ask questions, but the answer soon presented itself. The screen was filled with an image of a blue-armored creature. When he spoke, it was in a deep, foreboding voice. Citizens of Earth, rejoice! I am Marquis Algorin, envoy of the Dominion of Queen Huhuka. Your planet has been selected to enjoy our generous protection. As he was talking, his image projected itself into the sky. Mirrors, windows, televisions, and even someone's coffee cup. Drinker said coffee cup wasted no time spitting it out. In exchange, all we demand is your eternal enslavement and total control of all Earth's mineral deposits. If they think of doubting our power, we shall destroy one of your defense satellites. That said, the humans flicked out of existence as the attack on Garuda continued.
Mayday! Mayday!
Mary called the transmitter.
We're under attack by an unknown enemy. We need to make an emergency evacuation.
Mark was terrified, but Gordon remained calm. Major James, make your way to the Hawk in the hangar. In the event of emergency, is set to take off after a 2-minute countdown. When you get back, we can regroup and engage in a counterattack.
Mary one last response. Roger!
Before getting to the hangar bay, she didn't make it very far, as the station camera showed her being accosted by a group of black-colored beings. Their leader, a gunmetal robot with a comet-shaped head, shot on the camera. The Hawk jet took off. This is the collapsing station exploded, leaving no evidence it was ever there. Projected Algren had pre-appeared above Earth. Your protectors have fallen. Now my pet will so have his way with this planet. A spectral hand appeared and conjured up a spider-like creature. The carrier annoyed. The creature looked down to Earth, beginning its attack on the civilians. Back in Nest Science Lab, Lulu looked down Lane. Her previous doing expressing that gone.
What do we do now?
Think I have an idea, Lane replied. Yeah, 2 sets of wristwatch devices from a much larger case. We've been working on an elite fighting force of transhumans. We never found uses for these two. Till now. In the city, the carrier knight began its attack, soaring energy from the people, causing its tail to enlarge. Elsewhere, on a farm, a nurse tending to an injured soldier received a call. Brown, the disaster we've been anticipating has happened sooner than we anticipated.
Gee, you think?
The nurse replied. Carrie Brown wasn't normally a Starkey type. The communicator was just asking for it. But at least he was happy to have the opportunity to see if her efforts was something for them. I think Corporal Hartford was at 93% recovery last check. He could fight, but he might have slight difficulty. Understood, Brown. Was, of course, frustrated reply. I just hope both you and he can remember your special forces training. As of now, both you are authorized to morph. We'll be sending a third authorized officer to you soon. With that, the transmission was terminated, and before they can served by Algren. Well. No, we can't have that, can we? He asked himself, holding his helmet now as before. Bioroids, go forth and destroy. A group of mostly black creatures, same kind of those that attacked the season, were spawned from his hand and descended upon the farmhouse. Back at the nest, Mark, having allowed himself to register his girlfriend, was probably gone or under enemy captivity. He did a hijack preparing to take off. Then he noticed a signal at a farmhouse near a quarry. It's definitely the same one to attack the station. I'll go out. He launched the jet and flew towards the quarry. We saw 2 people under attack by a spider-like creature. Not only a mostly black man, like the ones from the station feed. Lasers, fire! He shot at the enemy, sending forces flying, some of them falling. Shot down a jet, reaching out to touch the secondary bracelet he had been given. This is his communicator. Let's fly! He called out. The command recognized. The bracelet deployed a suit onto his body. Red suit resembling the hawk jet. Spraying the wings the suit had given him. Mark glided down to the ground, taking a few grunts before actually landing. It didn't last long for the carrier knight attacked him with his tackles, flooring him. We have to help him, if we can, said a woman. She does need to leap into the air, do what he did. To demonstrate, suppress the bracelet similar to his leapt to the air, saying, Let's fly! The man followed suit. Within seconds, he had color suits of their own. White swan and yellow owl. Upon landing, he almost crashed, while she landed gracefully. Mark looked to the side and saw he had help and ran up to the fallen man. Nice to see help. Now let's take these guys down. Thus the fight ensued, with the 3 men seemed to repel the moose very narrowly. Yellow still had difficulty flying, and Sight was too terrified to fight. When ran against the carrying knight battle, it was too evenly matched for a clear victory to emerge. Eventually, Algren cut open a hole to the dimension with his sword, allowing the creature to escape, just as Red collapsed. Are you alright? The white one asked. For that matter, who are you? Red straightened himself before demorphing and addressing her. My name is Mark Goodman. I'm in charge of a covert fighting team. I'll see you are members of all. Believe me, that was only the beginning of our problems.
So, I personally think, adaptation-wise, Power Rangers Take Flight is more of what I would expect for a normal Power Rangers adaptation. Original plot, original characterizations, and finding a way to fuse the 2 footages together. Not to mention, I looked at the screen, and yes, it did take me 30 minutes to actually do that show. Here, it just feels like a summary of different events. I kind of had another reason for doing this besides comparison. As you all know, Jetman in the 70s had 2 different dubs. G-Force, Battle of the Planets. So thus, 2 different adaptations. Get it? And that was 2 down. Thousands more to go. See you next time.